the Prince of Egypt, the best Clash Royale player in the world, Mohamed Light!
Mohamed Light, Sandbox, game 1.
Sandy going fast here in game number 1. Love that confidence.
And doing the Mo Light opening. That was not a thing you did with split wall breakers behind King Tower until the man on the left invented it.
And Momo looking like he might be going to E-Giant. Also parts of Graveyard here.
Certainly smells that way. Miner there to hold everything together and a NATO to clean it all up. Mohamed Light, maybe not totally happy with the way that went.
Either that or he was like, that is exactly what was supposed to happen. I'm in my zone right now. Cleans it all up. Baby Dragon gets on top of tower. He's got the lead early here in a match where your opponent is the one looking for more damage in single elixir.
First minute away. Sandbox opting not to eat that one. Had the skellies ready. And I love that we're seeing Sandbox confident playing bait or playing a cycle deck against Mohamed Light to open.
I like it. I mean, we've talked about outplayability for years now. Give yourself a chance. The other part of that, though, is when you have a deck that moves a lot faster, when you have cards that are a lot cheaper, if you make a mistake, it's very, very costly and hard to bounce back from.
And Mohamed just slowing things all the way down.
Sandbox making sure he's not going to give away that King Tower activation. NATO was completely out of the meta for quite some time, just came back in a couple months ago. That nerf was brutal, but now the coupling of units on the board and what's actually working in the meta as we're seeing right now with Baby Dragon, that was not exactly what Mo wanted. Baby Dragon still should get one little burp on tower.
Plenty for the Evo Ghost. Bowler picks up high. Wall breakers don't get touched by the bowler, and that forces out the hut.
And Minions doing some work here. Evo Knight, though, should be able to clean most up. Man, that Royal Ghost just does so much damage. And as we saw in that last matchup, as actually we've seen all day, you never want to let that Royal Ghost go invisible again.
This time switching sides. Miner to the back for Sandbox.
And there's the E-Giant.
E-Giant's not going to touch the breakers, though. NATO for King Tower activation.
Cannon going right into a Baby Dragon, though. That is not what Sandbox wants. And Minions putting in work. That range buff so effective against the E-Giant when before it was completely useless to play Minions on top of an E-Giant. Or near it, I should say.
And at the moment, as we are getting into sudden death overtime, it is Sandbox with this critical game 1 lead, 17-31 to 23-13, but we've seen this song play out before.
Yep.
Sandbox playing cycle, we're in double, we're getting closer to triple against E-Giant.
Well, what's really important for Sandbox is he's got to keep up the dual lane pressure, as you can see, and as you all know, when you're playing against E-Giant, the last thing you want is that perfect push to come together, and the best way to do that when you have a deck like Sandbox's, rely on your opposite lane pressure, rely on your cannons, your high DPS units, and just control the board, control the pace.
Bar barrels have been really nice for Sandbox so far. Mo sets up Bowler one more time to the left.
Baby Dragon has to get kited by that Miner. Minions come down. Minions going to get cleaned up for the most part with that Baby Dragon shot. And Evo Miner in front. There you go. An odd high cannon there. You think that's going to be sniped off the board. And Mo can see a big opening.
Second cannon to pull. Not enough for Lightning.
The double bowlers on the board. Cleaning up that Royal Ghost. Now we got the lineup. Bowler very healthy.
And what a save.
What a bar barrel. You are so right, Rich. Good damage on the right-hand side, though. Tower's basically even all across the board. Sandbox in the lead with 1584 being the lowest tower on Mo's side.
Mohamed changes lanes, goes to his strong side with the E-Giant, 40 seconds-ish remaining.
Rich, for how insane of a matchup this is, this room, you could hear a pin drop right now.
I mean, it's absolutely silent. Damage continues to stack up for Sandbox. Now E-Giants in both lanes.
30 seconds remaining. Sandbox is going to have to play the best defense of his life. Baby Dragon there. Lightning comes in to clean things up. Second cannon comes down. 1391.
Lightning wanted to predict.
The bowler lines up. The overwhelm. Mohamed Light endures.
takes is won.
Yep. Game number 2, Sandbox, the Pharaoh, coming your way.
NATO out for Mo. Sandbox already played Miner. Let's see if he goes something else that would have kind of that NATO gone value.
And a little smile and look up there from Mo. And if you guys are familiar with watching him on broadcast, that is a horrifying smile. It looks sweet, but you know when you're playing against him and he's vibing, it's not a good place to be in. And he's playing Mortar. He's got my heart.
A lot on the board for Mohamed Light to deal with. Valk, Baby Dragon, Bowler on that left-hand lane.
That Ewiz is such an interesting pick. The stun ability is going to be very, very impactful throughout this matchup, and I think Mo's feeling good about what's happening.
Perfectly timed log. An ability to... Maybe Mo didn't expect to go all the way past the bridge.
But that Bomber just walks off into no man's land. Cannoneer going to clean things up, and that Boss Bandit putting in some nice work. Going to be a good King Tower activation here from Sandy.
You see the little nod from both, the happy version from Sandbox, the slightly frustrated version from Mohamed.
And that's what Sandbox got to do. You spent your 10,000 hours playing this game. Make the interactions that you know, take the wins where you can get them, stay in it.
First 90 seconds away. So far, a little bit of chip damage on the right-hand side. Cannoneer for Mohamed Light, so it doesn't have the lead despite the damage so far.
And Berserker, such a great card in the game. So strong defensively, has enough HP to kite units like this Baby Dragon away. Mo's happy to take that fireball damage, and now we've seen the full deck come together here for Mohamed Light.
And very interesting, kind of this Mortar spammy combination. Dash 2 gets on the Valk.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You can get the Boss Bandit to come in and create space, get some damage in, and right there, huge damage.
Boy.
And that's exactly what I was just about to talk about. As soon as it starts, it's over. 204 remains. He's got Fireball, he's got Log, and if anyone can defend for 40 seconds, it's Mohamed Light.
Yeah, trying to break through against a Mortar on top of all that. The E-Wiz for the stun. And you kind of think you see Sandbox recognizing that, as we talked about, going from preparing for Igor to, oh my, I have to face Mohamed.
And he's going to take that fireball damage right there. Evo Mortar comes down, and this game happens so quickly. Obviously, not a great matchup. Mortar matches up very, very well against E-Giant. He's got the E-Wiz in there to stun and slow it down even more. Boss Bandit to tank on the ground. And what I was going to say about the synergy of the deck, the decksmanship, if you will, I love about it is that the Boss Bandit comes in and creates space. Then you drop the barrel behind it. Then the Boss Bandit comes back, barrel crosses the river, and they've traded places in tanking, and now the Boss Bandit's tanking once again, but it's dashing. So that synergy is absolutely insane. And Sandbox just didn't know what to do with it.
Out of 100. He's getting that A+ every single time. Obviously, one of the most brilliant players, one of the most talented players. And let's get into our first game sub. Mohamed Light. Game number 1.
Day 2. Can Sub pull off the upset? It's going to be tough.
Mohamed Light, the inventor of wall breakers, split behind the King Tower. And that's what we're going to see. I think he introduced that in one of the other World Finals. It's just one of those things. He'll find stuff that nobody else is willing to.
And really like to see Momo go in control here. It looks like it's going to be kind of a mirror matchup, and Mo already getting some good damage on tower. You can see that's already getting in Sub's head.
Yeah, Sub quite annoyed that he was giving up that damage. The Mighty Miner walks incorrectly, and it allows the opposing Mighty Miner for Mohamed Light to get some chip damage on the tower. Somewhat big push, but Mohamed Light is going to clean that up easily and only take a few hundred damage.
And this is incredibly similar, if not the exact deck that Mo was able to go 80 and 4 in 4 separate 20-win challenges. He did it with the Ice Wiz, Evo Skelly's Minor Wall Breakers control deck. And that's going to be a nice ability there from Sub, and a nice kite as well.
Yeah, gorgeous play from Sub. He's obviously very, very talented. Gets the right pop from the Mighty Miner, and then distracts with the wall breakers. Perfection from Sub.
23-28 to 28-56. Mo Light firmly in the lead. Not happy about how close that Mighty Miner is because of that right there. A bit of a waste of a Goblin Hut, but still going to require a response.
And we we see him give like a slight smile just because he knew that the right Spirit Goblin was going to go in front. It was going to allow the left Spirit Goblin to get a little bit of chip. It just immediately he understood what he was seeing.
Well, they know who's boss. And Sub goes to the back here. Completely uncontested miner. See if Mo wants to punish back.
A very beautiful prediction right there. The bar barrel as well. You know that Mohamed Light was just ready for that, but those minions are going to clean up nicely. I mean, even though he got predicted, it really wasn't the end of the world.
And we see Mighty Miner in the back, cycled on the left-hand side. Now, Miner goes to the inside with the poison. That is an exceptional poison. Taking out the Evo Skellies, taking out the Goblin Hut, and now we find Sub in the lead. First time so far in this game.
Yeah, Miner distracting the Spirit Goblins, having them set up on the right side, and Minion was able to take that out with the help of the poison, and right there, late pop of the ability, but it's going to work. It's going to kill the minions.
Evo Skellies come in, poison on top for Mo here. Clean everything up, 1927, and they're just going to play this game back and forth. Wall breakers, though, uncontested. Does the bomb go off in time? It does. Mo happy about that. You can see a little smile and nod to himself.
Yeah, you hear the crowd erupt as well. Nobody was really sure what was going to happen right there.
I mean, the crowd, in this crowd, there are hundreds of thousands of hours of Clash Royale played, and you're watching a guy that is a magician, a surgeon at work.
And right here, I mean, after the slow start for Sub, after taking 500 damage, he is now taking the lead. Sub has done a brilliant job of getting himself back in this game.
Mighty Miner ability, Evo wall breakers behind, and it doesn't, he messes up the sequencing. This is what I'm talking about. Sub can always stay in it. He looks not shaken by that Mighty Miner in the very beginning, and as you were just saying, AC, he's been able to bounce back this entire game, and now is firmly in the lead in a mirror match.
Yeah, the difference between the Cannon and the Goblin Hut has been instrumental to his success. I mean, the Goblin Hut, it's just too bulky. He's not able to get it properly. Another Mighty Miner, that time he gets it brilliantly, but 1455 forces out a response from Sub, and you know him, Mr. Consistent. He's not messing up that interaction.
Yep, you know he's on top of those Skellies, not going to get overwhelmed by other things going on the board, keeping up the pressure. Wall breakers don't get in front of the bar, but Mighty Miner comes over on that side, has to turn around anyway. 1455, 689, Sub in control.
Right there, Bar Barrel going to be able to clean up the Ice Whiz nicely. Minions in tow going to be able to clean up the Miner as well. So 689, he needs just a little bit more damage before he can start going poison, poison, poison.
Mo putting some pressure on that right-hand side, baits out a Mighty Miner, uses the ability, then goes opposite lane. 542, 1308. Sub catches the Miner.
Sub, all the elixir in the world, he's able to get the cannon down in time, going to be able to stop those wall breakers. And here we go. This is where it starts. 30 seconds left. He's going to go Miner, poison, cycle.
427, 1026, 24 seconds remain. Sub just needs to not make a huge mistake here. Mighty Miner getting kited back on the left-hand side. Poison down early, cannon up high. Mo Light just out of reach, AC, in game one.
Yep, Miner, poison, Miner chipping away. Gonna get the tower down to 47. It's over. Sub taking game number one, trying to upset Mohamed Light.
And the crowd with some mixed reactions here. Not sure what really happened. Obviously happy to see a great game, but... Go, or will Momo bounce back? Here we go, game two. And that is a look that we know well from Mohamed Light. We've seen it any time, basically, that he's lost, where he is locked in that next game.
Right there, perfect timing with the log. That 100th of a second, it's always, you just don't know what's going to happen. But right there, just perfection.
We've seen that drill timing be an issue for certain players throughout the competition. Can't imagine Mo will make that mistake more than once, if even that.
Whew. And the Hunter takes out all the goblins with the help of the Royal Ghost, and that's going to force out more and more of a response. Tesla plus Berserker going to put in work, but this RG could be scary.
And
look at shake his head.
He already knows that E-Spirit, the guards are going to clean everything up. And that's already game number two. A beautiful dissection of Sub's defense. Everything about that was absolutely perfect. He saw the overspend or overcommitment on the left. He saw the only way to defend on the right, and he absolutely picks it apart. And that's why he's Mo Light.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like goblins in this meta right now. I feel like it's a little too easy. They don't do enough DPS, still easy to take out. And I mean, Sub, he's gonna keep playing. It's not over till it's over, but this is looking like it's real trouble for him.
And Mo, I almost wonder if he's playing for the camera here, acting like he's trying to figure something out. Maybe figuring out what he wants to run
at the camera right there.
in Game 3. I can imagine that's maybe where his head is at, knowing that Game 2 is essentially locked at this point. Only a minute and 13 seconds remain. Momo's taken almost no damage, and he does have an incredibly defensive deck.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing to point out, because you have to assume both of these players know the end result of this game. They're going to take the next minute and a half, not because they think that they can come back, and maybe they can, so of course they're going to try, but the main thing is, what am I going to do for deck number 3? How do I get away and give myself an advantage going into that final game?
Honestly, that's exactly what I'd be doing if I was both of them right now, AC. I would just let this game, we don't have draws like they do in chess. We don't have resignations, and I don't think that's what Sub would do anyway, because you're going to use this time to think about what you want to do in Game 3. And, as quick as you get, once you get comfortable around Mo Light, that's when he's going to take advantage of that. Unbelievable plays there.
3, Sub, and Mohamed Light.
And a Tombstone. Have we seen Tombstone yet?
No.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. We've seen the Cage a few times, Cannon, Goblin. I don't think we've seen Tombstone.
And Evo Bomber. I also don't think we've seen Evo Bomber yet this weekend. So Mo and Alan innovating here in Game 3.
Yeah, Evo Bomber, one of those where like 70% of the time it's not going to do anything, but the 30%, it'll just win you games.
Man, when it first came out, that was absolutely devastating card. It was a Magic Archer throwing a nuke. And a nice King Tower activation there. Sub showing a version of bait.
Yeah, and right there, just brilliance with the Goblin Barrel, protecting himself. Yes, Mohamed Light is going to activate the King Tower, but not before giving up a ton of damage. Sub taking a pretty massive lead. No NATO in cycle, so that's also going to force out a Bomber in response. And that's going to do pretty well. No shot from the Ghost.
And looking for the log, or excuse me, looking for something with that log, but instead Mo goes with the better route. Inferno up high, barrel back in, gonna get a little more damage on that tower. 1899 to 2 untouched towers on the Brazilian side.
Goblin Hut to defend the Berserker. Goblin Hut doing a great job because the Berserker takes so long, 2 swipes to take out the Spear Goblins. I mean, you gotta wonder about Mohamed Light's deck. There's a couple options. There's the E-Giant, and wow, what a
That is
dash.
a great dash, and it does feel like E-Giant, AC. And there it is. E-Giant soaks up the Evo Ghost. Still taking some shots from that barrel. Now it's time for Sub to defend. Evo Bomber goes out right side.
Yeah, frustrated beyond belief, taking a lot of damage, and with 1 minute left, I need to take another look at that. The Bomber doesn't shoot the right Goblin. I think the tower took it out. Just everything going Sub's way, and a beautiful King Tower activation. No chip damage, and this is the reason why I'm not a huge fan of Bomber. There's too many matchups you don't get any value.
And obviously, Cannoneer, a great way to match up against E-Giant, but you know what also works is having 3 towers. Princess Towers getting on top of that E-Giant. Going to pull it to the center here. Dark Goblin can get NATO'd in. That Inferno Drag, a little scary. And the guards come down last second. You heard a couple gasps there in the crowd. High Ghost, making sure that Golden Knight can't get on top of tower. Inferno getting a little bit scary. And a beautiful cleanup here from Sub. At most takes a couple shots and a dash.
I mean, that was perfection. Mohamed Light thought that the game was over. Half the crowd thought, okay, maybe it was just me, but the Inferno Dragon was...
It was scary.
It was scary, beautiful Ice Spirit. The Inferno Dragon was on to the wrong card. The Ice Spirit delays and resets the Inferno Dragon's charge.
And another Goblin gets on tower there, 8:57. Only a minute 48 remains, but we all know E-Giant can take a game in a moment. One good push, a nice NATO, a good lineup with the Evo Bomber, a Golden Knight connection. So many ways for Mo to take this game. He goes guards opposite. I like that. No good way to stop him. Barrel in, Tombstone high.
Yeah, that's what Mohamed Light was trying to do earlier. The Bomber placed perfectly right there. Beautiful Golden Knight dash. The MVP for Sub so far has been these Dark Goblins. It's just getting so much value.
Guards once again to distract. Royal Ghost up high. Momo's running out of time and options. Sub goes barrel right into the back here.
No,
and the
what?
Golden Knight
How?
goes backwards. A gift from the Clash Royale gods. Is that what Mo needs to turn this around? High Inferno. Beautiful. Fireball in.
Beautiful fireball right there. Goblin Hunt to take the E-Giant into the middle. Guards are going to be low, but the Bomber's going to be able to help out. Needs the Ice Spirit reset, and he's going to do that again.
Wow.
We keep hyping up all these maybes from Mohamed Light, but Sub on the other side, he's just doing it. He's got it done.
Perfect interactions from Sub time and time again. Resetting the Inferno, getting the guards down last second. Royal Ghost up high to stop the Golden Knight charges. Everything is so clean, but it just takes one. 33 seconds remain. Double barrel in.
Gets the prediction with the Golden Knight, gets the left tower safely, but this Inferno Dragon is going to do nothing. 26 seconds left. He's going to be able to have another... he has another hut. I don't think Mohamed Light has a shot.
I don't think there's any way. Goblins get on top of tower again. Not within fireball range. Guards up high to block. Dark Goblin down low. Dark Goblin down low, that should get on tower! The Golden Knight's on tower, but there's not enough time! And Mo Light is gonna have to repeat a lower bracket run to be the first and ever three-time world champ. Sub gets it done!
Of the year, Mohamed Light and Ian. Let's go.
We're into game one. Both players locked in. Good luck from both players. And a wall breaker's in the back from Mo. I really like this play.
Not a huge surprise. Mohamed has opened with this a few times. Royal Giant is the show for Ian.
Yeah, and Mo's just going back to his bread and butter, his comfort. He won 4 20-win challenges on 4 different accounts with this Minor Poison Ice Wiz control variation.
Are you surprised to see him go here again, though, given that we essentially just had that same conversation?
You know, I'm not. I think that no matter what, you know, if you take a loss with your best deck, it's still your best deck, and you can take what you learned previously and kind of apply it into this game.
Ability does put a little bit of damage onto that Royal Ghost. Mighty Miner will finish off the Fisherman. First minute away, and just a little bit of chip both directions.
It's really interesting to see the Firecracker variation from Ian with the Royal Giant. I think it could be good, just apply some pressure, and it's going to help versus the Goblin Hunts as well.
Big connection for Mohamed. Now opens up the scoring.
Yeah, another thing to think about once again is what spell do you choose with your Royal Giant deck? In this sort of situation, I think a Fireball is a little bit... Wait, he's not... Wait, is he using
Mega Knight.
Hog? I'm not sure.
What a fascinating choice. The MK here.
I kind of like it though. The Mega Knight historically does really, really well versus these ship-type decks, able to defend and counter push with that big 7 elixir card. Wait!
And another connection for Mohamed.
Oh my goodness, not only getting damage on tower, but also taking out the Firecracker, preventing the counter push. Ian is really showing to start a little bit of his nerves.
We have not seen a ton of Mega Knight here. You see Ian with the oh no Goblin emote.
Classic Ian trying to get into his opponent's head. I talked to a few players. A lot of them are saying that they always mute emotes when going against Ian just to try to prevent that sort of mind games.
Wall breakers don't get through this time. Evo Mega Knight not able to take care of the hut. And now Mohamed Light starting to put on the pressure.
Evo breakers coming in from Mo on the left-hand lane. No Barbaro and Cycle. It's
Wow.
double Evo wall breaker connection. Oh my goodness.
Double hut down. Regular Mega Knight into a Mighty Miner.
I really like the use of the Goblin Hut to pull the Fisherman in to allow the Mighty Miner to do work on those Mega Knights, but here comes the Evo.
And now Royal Giant behind.
Mighty Miner to try and clean it up. Fisherman's not there, and Ian calls good game.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what an absolute shutdown defense that was. You have the hut obviously is causing so much trouble for Ian. But then you have the Evo Skellies just completely devastating all of that push. And Ian knows that it's going to take a miracle to get game number 1.
Mega Knight built up in the back once again, but the Barb does get one hit. I wonder if Ian needs to get either 2 Royal Giants or maybe even 2 Mega Knights on the board and triple elixir to make this happen.
And he's still eating wall breakers.
Really nice mighty ability. Kind of just preventing damage to the right, but also cleaning up the ghost on the left at the same exact time.
And just the hardest thing for Ian here is the dual lane pressure has been unrelenting.
Yeah.
And he's had no real way to control this game in both the left and right side.
And that is what the change to the 3-card cycle is about. You know, it hurts Hog sometimes, but being able to have, oh my gosh, the wall breakers, but being able to have multiple mighties on the board to defend is huge.
2 Mega Knights down, Evo Royal Ghost as well. RG on the right-hand side.
This might be it.
There's a lot on the board here. Ian might have to ignore the miner and just go after it. E-Spirit to hit. Will the Royal Giant turn around? Mega Knight all over the place. 48 HP. Lightning in. Can the Royal Giant do it in time? Can the Royal Giant do enough? It's not going to happen. Poison down. Mohamed Light wins game number 1.
Wow.
Game 2 of Ian and Mohamed Light.
You see a good luck from Ian. He's got the Cannoneer Tower. Most likely either going to be Mortar or Hyperbait, based on my knowledge, and he's got a gang, so really could be open to either.
So Ian going cycle as maybe we thought. Question is, what do Mohamed Light and Alan have ready for it?
Firecracker guards. Going to be either Hog or Royal Giant paired with that Firecracker. Skeleton Barrel from Ian. E-Spirit is in the deck here. Wow.
And the Ghost. That's what we just talked about, right? Ghost not played in that previous deck as it normally would be, available and in use here.
Log going to come through, kind of protect the Electro Wizard, force Mohamed Light to spend more elixir, or decide to take a hit. Mo's not too worried to take a hit on the right-hand side because he's already taken damage to the left, kind of letting Ian split up the damage to try and conserve that elixir advantage.
What do you think Ian's looking for with the E-Wiz pick here?
You know, I think it's good versus bait. Obviously, any sort of Mighty Miner or Inferno Dragon deck, it's going to be great for. But ever since the buffed Electro Wizard, it's actually a lot stronger than people realize. And obviously, kind of using it as a secondary spell on defense can be super important.
Here we go, Hog in, E-Wiz high. And this is going to shut down this Hog with no hits. Ian's starting to open up some damage here.
Yeah, both players kind of feeling each other out, trying to figure out what's good. Ian's tower definitely starting with a little bit less HP overall and a little bit of a lead, but Mo is always taking that sort of thing into account.
Hog in, high mortar.
I wonder if Cannoneer can shut this down. He's not sure, so he drops the Electro Wizard. Evo Ghost on the board. Can he protect that in order to get the counter push? Doesn't look like it.
The E-Wiz does a good job, though. Here we go. Fireball in. Skeletons all over. Log comes down.
I'm trying to figure out what Mo's last card is. Obviously, it could be Earthquake, but he didn't use Lightning previously. So that Lightning could be a difference maker, although I think he'd much rather Earthquake for the Mortar and for the Goblin Gang.
Little splash on that tower from the Firecracker. Skeleton Barrel opposite lane from Ian. Getting closer to sudden death overtime, and at the moment, things fairly close, about 100 HP separating on the right-hand lane.
A lot of pressure in the right-hand lane to try and punish that 6 elixir card of the Boss Bandit in the back. And this actually forces Ian to use a defensive Evo Mortar. That's definitely going to give Mo an edge to continue to attack and not have to worry about that on offense.
And Evo Ghost right onto the Boss Bandit, but Ghost gone.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about mini metas in Clash Royale League. I mean, we really don't see much of Boss Bandit in the normal game, but the Boss Bandit has really shown up to be very powerful in this tournament.
And the combination of the Cannoneer and the King Tower able to work together and support these troops, doing a good job so far as Ian from keeping these hogs from connecting.
Will the Ghost clutch up? It does, and the log will drop as well. But Ian does continue his advantage, getting that Evo Skeleton Barrel drop on tower.
Some chip damage there Ian didn't want to take. Goes Mortar opposite lane again. Hog down.
Pre-log?
And that pre-log is huge.
Wow.
Huge hits from
Cycle. This might be Ian's chance to make it to game 3.
Mortar cannot connect. Lightning in the clear.
Lightning really cleans up and gets damage on the Princess Tower. Sorry, the Cannoneer Tower on the right.
1483, 1694. This battle has become about the right-hand side. Fireball Cycle puts this within 4. Log takes the lead for Ian.
Tesla does pull the skeleton. The Fireball is in, but the Lightning goes as well.
Fireball trying to create the connection here. Is there a Mortar? Is there an E-Wiz? Can he stop it? Oh my word! Mohamed Light holds on and wins it by 42 HP.
I'm gonna beat whoever's in front of me.
Well, let's see if he can pull off the biggest part of his run here. Can he complete the trifecta of world champions? Sandbox, Mo Light, lower bracket, 3rd, 4th place. Let's go.
Fire Spirit gets the jump with the Goblin Stabs, and Tower's down at 2485. A phenomenal, I mean, you take a look at the cards that are played. Goblin Barrel, Fire Spirit, Guards, Bar Barrel, he should be receiving no damage. Instead, he's receiving a lot of damage, and a 200 HP lead and King Tower activation for Cal's Sandbox.
Wallbreaker split in the back. Sandbox definitely going away from what he usually plays. Gets the vines in. Damage kind of done there. Would have loved a little bit more, but Mo doing a great job of, you know, this is so funny. We actually had a conversation with Mo Light earlier today about how he is so good at knowing exactly where barrels are and the mind games that come with that. Sandbox already throwing to left. Mo there catching with a card instead of having to use his bar barrel.
Yeah, pretty aggressive vines right there, but gets a lot of damage. Dark Goblin again going in with these incredibly aggressive vines. And look, what we're seeing in CRL is aggression is okay. You can be aggressive, and we're not really used to that from previous years.
And Mo a little frustrated, you can see by the aggression that is being thrown his way, but the lack of counter push and the lack of elixir lead that you would hope to get when your opponent is that defensive. Mo's taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have anything to show for it at the moment. And the double barrel in, plus the wall breakers.
And again, getting aggressive, and again, both hitting. Berserker going crazy on the right side. We can't even talk about that because the left side is down to 11-15.
And you see kind of a gasp on Mo's face and a gasp from the crowd here. Just taking so much damage here as we tick in to the final minute of regulation. Aggressive Fire Spirit at the bridge baits out the Evo Tesla because he can't take more damage.
I mean, this is just a new way to play this matchup. Here we go, Mohamed Light trying to reset. We're in double elixir, and that's going to be a very expensive play, but he's able to catch everything, the Dark Goblin and the cannon.
Berserker needs to put damage in right now. Firecracker connects on top of tower 2, and that is a huge moment for Mo Light. Firecracker still alive. Doesn't get a second shot on tower. 12:39, 11:15. Another Hog Rider comes in. This should be nice cleanup here for Sandbox. A bit of an overspend there by Mo. A great vines.
Right there, Bar Barrel going to be able to perfectly predict, gets the Goblin Barrel cleaned up very nicely, and Sandbox still has the lead, but what was 1,500 is now down to 100.
12:39, 11:15, now getting into overtime. Sandbox thinking about keeping pressure up in the opposite lane. Berserker and Dark Goblin working down the right-hand side. Barrel goes left on the inside. Mo can see it from a mile away.
Yeah, I believe that was just one tile too far into the middle. Yeah. It made it a little bit too obvious. Firecracker plus E-Spirit going to be able to block one of the wall breakers from getting into the tower, but not enough. Evo Valk on defense, and now, after such a strong start, Mohamed Light takes the lead.
Yeah, evening things up is Mo, and right back on offense. Gonna have to use the vines up high. Sandbox knows that's gonna line up the Firecracker. Now the Hog's gonna get on top of tower, and as quickly as Sandbox started this game, Mohamed Light finishes it. In game 2, or will be sent home as 4 in the world, and Momo continues his lower bracket run. Game 2, final match of the day. And a high Archer Queen to start. And the aggression doesn't stop in game 2 for Sandbox. Poison on Valk, poison on the Hut, Queen ability in. Down just 1 elixir, Mo cycles a Snowball.
Snowball forces out the Ice Spirit from Sandbox to protect the tower. Ice Spirit plus Miner not going to get any damage because of the brilliant Berserker placed just in time by Mohamed Light. And again, we're seeing Drill plus the Bomber forces out the Bar Barrel on defense on the Bomber. And the Ghost plus Skellies, that's going to be a little bit of damage. 1 little Goblin Stab on top of the tower, getting it down to 2852.
And Royal Ghost working down the left-hand side.
Can't catch it once again. Berserker to the right, Valk to the left.
Yeah, very interesting for Sandbox to just go minor poison control here, thinking that he can outplay Mo in the micro. And he does have some good responses for the Drill, the Barrel, the Skellies, the Ice Spirit, the Royal Ghost, all going to be great ways to kind of keep it at bay. And of course, the Miner, always going to be hard to pick up, but some good responses for Mohamed Light.
Bomber doesn't get the second shot, so it is going to force out another card in response. Berserker comes down. Sandbox is going to try and clean that up nicely. And an interesting Goblin Hut, placing it as high as he did. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think that's just another thing that I'm learning. I get it. You're trying to get a little bit aggressive and get some more value that you usually don't. So I like the play. I really do.
Yeah, you're hoping that your Spear Goblins. And there it is. We talked about this play yesterday when AC and I were on, when Juicy and I were on broadcast. That's the play. You go Drill, you go Rocket, takes the Ghost out of play, and then you get the Evo Snowball in. I love that they just pulled that off after we talked about it yesterday.
See Mohamed Light a little bit upset. One of the interactions not going his way. Most of the other ones doing so, though, and both towers very close to each other, but I mean, really, that's okay if you're Mohamed Light. The Drill plus the Rocket, that's an easy 1200 HP worth of damage once he gets the triple elixir. And there we go, getting very aggressive. A lot of these Drill Rocket players wait a little bit longer, but he knows how good his defense is, and he's okay with doing it.
1670 down, and knows that the Bar Barrel or Skellies, anything that gives Rocket value is going to come down there with the Royal Ghost on the opposite side of the board. 2113, 1670. Is the same lane the way to go for the rest of this bout for both these guys, AC?
Yeah, I think you have to, but it really is close. I'm surprised that he went Archer Queen opposite lane, but I believe it's getting a lot of value. Should be able to get 2 swings on top of the tower, and we are going to see that. I mean, Sandbox putting in a lot of work, getting a lot of pressure on these towers.
Really nice Ice Spirit just a moment ago from Mo, right as the Archer Queen popped her ability. And that should be a reset. Couple shots in, 3 shots in on that left-hand side, and things are even once again.
Yeah, right there.
To the back. The Valkyrie went to the back, and the Royal Ghost gets on tower.
And that's going to happen again, getting the tower down to 647.
And Sandbox screams back into this battle, almost eliminated, now in the lead.
Mohamed Light, it would have been better not to place a troop at that point, getting the tower down to 463. Evo Valk not understanding its priorities. And right there, Snowball gonna provide a little bit of value, but 1390, 463, this is looking like it's insurmountable.
Nice pause there on the Skellies, making sure he doesn't give Mo too much value. Drill goes to the front, Hut's there, 8Q's there, Rocket comes in, Poison goes out. 50 seconds remain. This is a foot race, and Sandbox has the lead.
Right there, Miner forces out the Snowball. It is going to activate King Tower. Very nice looking play, and technically there's still some sort of opportunity.
That Hut being used now, knowing that his opponent is happy to rocket away, but he has the lead, is such an interesting way to defend. But it really paints Mo into a tough spot. And there you go. We're going to game 3. And the crowd rooting for the underdog.
But now here it is. Everything on the line. Game 3 underway. Sandbox and Mohamed Light.
Mohamed Light, the only former world champion left in the mix. The only person able to get that 3-time championship. Does it come to an end here? does Sandbox make this the greatest run of his career? It already has been.
Nice little Fire Spirit, going to be able to hop onto the Inferno Dragon and the Fisherman. And does he get any time? He doesn't, but this is an interesting interaction.
Things getting a little ugly here for Mo. That Executioner is tanking the snowball, and that's gonna get on tower, and I think he still has a dash! He still has a dash!
Right there, Boss Bandit chipping away at the tower. 3 shots, almost a 4th. Gets the tower down to 1657. Perfection of a start for Sandbox. How does he want to respond to the Inferno Dragon? You knew it was going to be a great response. Guards forcing out a 2 elixir log, so 1 elixir to stop that Inferno Dragon.
And the Inferno just gets a little sizzle on that tower. 4 cards played for Sandbox, and the tower was already down to 1600. Guards come out as the 5th. He takes a lick of damage, 2976, 1657, working in the same lane.
Wow.
Heal Spirit in both decks.
Wow. We are probably not going to see that for a while. Sandbox pretty low though, and you see him shake his head because, I mean, this is a lot coming down the lane. These Heal Spirit decks, as funky as they are, they can put in work, especially with this Inferno Dragon.
I think Mo just recognized Sandbox spent a little too much, and that is a perfect lightning, my goodness, but down a lot of elixir is Sandbox. Ticking to 8 is Mo, ticking to 4 is Sand. How does Mo want to punish?
Yeah, luckily going into double elixir, so not the end of the world for Sandbox, but definitely not a good situation either. And both of these players just coming up with something new.
Talk about that lightning being a lifesaver, Josh. That was such a great lightning time by Sandbox to stop what would have been a tower-taking push. And the Evil Royal Ghost gets kited over to the right-hand side, and I don't know if that's what Mo wanted. RG down, 6 elixir to defend. Boss Bandit making work on the right-hand side still.
Yeah, and I don't know what he has for this.
The Heal
Fireball
Spirit
plus the Ghost, the Heal Spirit putting in work.
The Ghost goes down! I mean, excuse me, the Exy goes down! And Sandbox is now finding himself in a similar situation as game number 1.
I mean, these Boss Bandits, they're getting value, but it's just not enough. That's the problem with the 6 elixir card. As good as it is, as much value as it gets, sometimes it's just not enough. In this game, it's just difficult. He's not setting up the right pushes. Mohamed Light is just controlling the arena after that opening start.
And now the Evo Exy here to clean things up. Ram Rider finally comes down to slow the RG. This should be a relatively nice cleanup. Goes for the Zappies in the middle. Mo plays on the left-hand side. Great defensive play there by Mo.
You almost wonder if Mo is nodding his head because he respected the prediction or if he was just happy it didn't work out. And right there, Zappies plus Ghost. Ghost is going to disappear and respawn with a little bit more ghouls. There it is.
And now needs to stop this RG.
He has
Yesterday.
nothing. Okay.
Evo. Oh, and it still gets a shot in. Fireball on the furnace.
This is looking like it's over.
This should do it.
It gets there.
Mo Light stays alive, and Sandbox's dream run finally comes to an end from the GOAT. The fans on their feet. Players remain 2 though, with only 1 life to give. Lower bracket finals starts now.
Fire Spirit from Mohamed Light. And a Fisherman in response from Pedro. After looking at the Fisherman, we automatically have to assume it's going to be a Royal Giant. Mohamed Light with the Firecracker as well, and you got to think Hog, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, you got to think Hog, and you got to think we're in a best of 5, seeing the Fire Spirit coupled with the Firecracker and Hog Rider. Usually the last choice on the list. Well, Heal Spirit's probably the last choice on the list. Usually goes E-Spirit these days, then Ice Spirit, then Fire, then Heal. So Mo Light already thinking about game 5. Should he potentially have to get there against Pedro?
And Pedro could be repeating what he used in game number 1, going in with another RG Monk Wizard deck. Even if it didn't work out in his first set, he clearly thinks that he's onto something with this deck. And, you know, I love the confidence. If you're going to win, you need confidence, and this is how you do it.
And now Pedro going to have to think about stopping that Mighty Miner as this game goes on. He's got the guards, he's got the E-Spirit, he's got the Fish Boy. Great ways to get on top of it. And of course, doesn't have to worry about the reflection from the Monk like he did in game 1 of his previous set, which basically stole it from him. friendly fire, if you will.
Both players waiting to hit 10 elixir. Pedro again electing to leak. It's really interesting to see how he's playing a lot of these matches, allowing himself to leak when other players wouldn't.
Mo Light even leaking a couple elixir there, then decides to cycle the Earthquake. And a Monk meets a Cannon. As Hog plus guards goes opposite lane, Fishboy gonna try to pull, activate King. Guards up high to pull the guards and distract. Get a King Tower activation, but something needs to get on top of that Firecracker, and guards, we always say King Tower activated, but at what cost? And this is a massive spend.
Just so smart, so aware. As soon as the Monk goes down, there's a reason why Pedro was leaking so much elixir. He knew that he couldn't afford to go in, and he didn't even wait till double. If you're gonna wait that long, you have to continue to wait. Right here though, this counter push can be a little bit deadly. Fisherman gonna yank onto the left side.
One
RT
more, does it get one more? And
gets
it
that
does.
last shot.
18-24, 10-33. Usually you don't want to go in the same lane with Hog Rider, but when you've got that much damage done, AC, is there really an option to switch? And Mo decides not to with this Earthquake.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting to cycle the Wizard back there. You knew that your opponent wanted to take the shield off, wanted to cycle the Earthquake. I don't know what I would have preferred, maybe to place it high, but he doesn't do that. And now the Mighty Miner plus Firecracker plus Cannon, that's going to be an easy defense for Mohamed Light.
Mighty Miner back in cycle, Cannon down, Fishboy up high, so not able to pull this Hog. Nothing there for the Hog. Mighty Miner stays alive. That should be tower down. That is tower down. Mo Light takes game number 1. And now Pedro is starting to feel the pressure. You can see it on his face. Set, or the blows continue to land. Game 2, lower bracket final, best of 5, coming your way. And that is a card we have not seen yet this weekend, I believe, the Demolisher, and that is why we love the best of 5 format. It's a lot of cards in this game, AC. Some of them get neglected.
But luckily we have our hero Mohamed Light to fix that problem. Pedro on the other side going to be running what we're used to so far this tournament. Ice Spirit, Skellies, Miner, going to his bread and butter, a Miner cycle deck.
You see right there, E-Spirit now used here in game number 2 by Mo Light.
And just like a lot of Goblin Demolisher decks, he is going to be running Drill. Ghost, I believe, gets a shot on top of the tower, and the opposing Ghost, and then gets the tower down to 2765. Demolisher not able to explode on the Ghost, so a healthy Ghost going to need to defend.
A little Ice Spirit there, and Mo shaking his head. Pedro up by about 1. Berserker not going to be a threat. 27-65 to 2 untouched towers by Mo Light, who's had the only game without taking damage all weekend, I believe.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to do that against Miner, so if he does that again, I got $1 for him.
Big spender AC.
I mean, they're making a lot of money. Yeah, so.
Already guaranteed $50,000.
Offensive Poison going to be able to take out the Goblin Hut, and Pedro's offensive push going to force out the Evo Snowball on defense. So always a good push when you can get that Evo Snowball forced out on defense.
This feels like a must-win game for Pedro in terms of confidence, in terms of running his comfort deck, being able to have a relatively good matchup. I can't imagine he takes another loss here and then is able to bounce back and reverse sweep. So let's see if Pedro can even things up here as we take into 1 minute left in regulation.
Another high Goblin Hut. We're seeing a lot of these players realize quickly on that you need to be doing that. You need to be applying pressure. And right here, it's just Evo Ghost Battle Royale. And there, the Goblin Demolisher does make it to the tower, and we're going to see if the Demolisher takes it out in time. And we're seeing why Mohamed Light loves this card. Yes, he hasn't played at this tournament, but he does use it quite often, and he's just so skilled with it.
I believe Riley was running a deck with Magic Archer and Goblin Demolisher. He made a video about it a couple months back, talking about how Goblin Demolisher is still very, very strong. No one's really been using it at all this weekend, and definitely putting in some work right now.
And right there, one of the Evo Skellies staying alive, but the Demolisher going to explode on top of everything and take out all the troops. Evo Ghost over the middle, and it will not splash on top of the towers until it gets frozen. I believe it splashed on top of the Ghost.
Drill goes into the right here, 2071 to 2418. Evo Snowball comes down, late bar barrel to clean up. 1897 remains on Pedro's bottom right tower as his Miner chips away, shovels away to an even 22-22 top left for Mo. minute 47 remaining here in overtime.
Beautiful ghost right there. You're allowed 1 or 2, and this could be a pretty scary offensive push. Evo Ghost still not coming alive. Snowball on offense and a good defense from Pedro.
And Evo Skelly's going to work down the lane. Can't imagine we'll have another Evo Skelly moment, but we're all here for it. Goes high and in the middle with the miner, hoping the miner can tank for the right-hand side. But on the right side, the Ghosts are breaking through.
Right there, good E-Spirit. There's one full ghost, one of the ghouls. Snowball on defense, and he's going to be able to protect his tower. Ghost, and what looked like that could be game over. Instead, Mohamed Light just defends beautifully like always.
Completely unfazed on the player cam there was Mohamed Light, AC. I thought we were going to have a blow open moment, if you will, there in terms of this game, and Mo Light quickly silences that. Evo Snowball back in cycle.
And right here, Demolisher going to explode on 2 of the minions, offensive poison, and that was an extra shot. I believe that was a ghost. I believe that was a goblin. Couldn't exactly tell. And that tower is now down to 1193.
Mo on the left tower, Drill on the right. Pedro trying to make anything happen. Ghost on the right tower of Mo, but Mo is heavily in the lead.
30 seconds left. Needs to figure something out. These E-Spirits are beautiful. Going to jump across everything, and I mean, I just don't exactly know. There's one minion, but
Minion almost gets there.
.12:45, 13 seconds left. One of the miners going to town. He's going to be able to get the tower low, needs to defend it. Evo Snowball forced out.
975 bottom left, 911 top right. Pedro now in the lead with 3 seconds remaining. Poison's in, Poison wins it, and Pedro able to come back in the final moments, and that's exactly what he needed to do, AC.
He shouldn't have been able to do it. Mohamed Light, I mean, he controlled the entire game. 4 minutes, 50 seconds.
Number 3, lower bracket finals, 2025 World Finals. Let's go. Looking like maybe even a mortar mirror matchup.
Ice Wizard to respond to the mortar, minions to help out, and the skeleton barrel almost explodes on top of the Ice Wizard, but it's still going to be that's still going to be a shot. Wow.
Just in time. And Pedro looking like he's running the deck that Mo created, while Mo is running the deck that has been very popular here on ladder. And that is a big spend by Pedro. That ability is going to clean things up, get some good damage on tower.
Yeah, zapping away, killing the Berserker, gets the tower down to 2391, and it's a very close game. Ice Wizard once again defending these mortars, and the Cannoneer is going to take it out just in time, getting the tower down to 2107.
2391, 2107 in a mortar matchup here. It's very interesting that Pedro has played a lot of mirror win-con matchups in these best of 5. Started out with Sub going back to back. Now here with Mo. Game 3.
.135 left. And both players just kind of stalling, waiting. And here's the push from Mohamed Light. And forget stalling, forget waiting. He's going all in.
And Boss Bandit there. E-Wiz to slow, but that ability should get a decent amount of value once again as the Boss Bandit turns around, does not dash to the Doctor, and the Doctor untouched crossing the river, got to spend even more. Does Pedro, 1957, 2066. The only grace he has is the fact that the Cannoneer Tower starts with less HP.
Evo Skeleton Barrel trying to take out the minions, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And Mohamed Light doesn't have a lot of elixir. Ice Wizard going to be forced out.
Does he have the fireball? He does. That should be a lot. Oh, perfect gang there from Mo, knowing how this deck is built, considering he's the one that made it popular this weekend.
And right there, Evo Skeleton Barrel going to be able to lock onto the mortar, take it out completely. Minions in response, and a defensive mortar forced out as well.
How expensive that Boss Bandit is and how it dashes all over the board. Not really a great distraction for an opponent's mortar. So Pedro forced to use a mortar of his own defensively.
Goblin Gang at the bridge, trying to take it out in time, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Defensive arrows. Doesn't matter that the mortar's out. You still need to take care of the Goblin Gang. High E-Wiz takes out the Skeleton Barrel perfectly. And here is another push from Pedro. This is just push after push. Offense against offense.
Barrel gets in front of the E-Wiz there, Boss Bandit in. Cannoneer, Cannon Cart plus Cannoneer doing a good job cleaning everything up. Dashes to the wrong side I don't know if that was an overspend by Pedro. We'll see if he can defend here.
Yeah, it felt like he didn't really get all that much value from those activated abilities. Skeleton Barrel popping on the right side, minions plus the Doctor on the left, and
He needs something here to clean up this mortar. Ewiz distracting enough. His mortar will distract. Cannon Heart comes down. Never what you want to see when you're running mortar.
And right there, we should see an Ice Wizard come down, and that's exactly what's going to happen. A pretty healthy mortar on the left side, and it's going to force out a defensive Goblin game, but not before he gets 2 shots, and not before it allows Mohamed Light to get aggressive again.
Another mortar down. Berserker to distract, but should get pulled out of range in just a second. No, it does not. Mortar comes down just in case for Pedro to play some defense. 18-28, 16-28, separated by 200 HP. That mortar will take the lead on the left-hand side if it's left undefended by Pedro.
Wow, and again, Mohamed Light forgetting about the mortar, just going in aggressive with his Goblinstein, and it's going to set himself up for another Evo mortar on the left, plus Skeleton Barrel.
Evo mortar almost locks again. Pedro gets his defensive mortar down just in time. Goblin Gang going to distract for one shot, going to need something else for the next.
Goblin Gang on defense with the help of the Ice Wiz, no damage, and again, Goblinstein on the left, getting aggressive as he can be.
Sometimes the best defense AC is just a whole lot of offense, and that is exactly what Mo's trying to do here. Pedro really could not take that Skelly Barrel drop. He takes the damage, he takes some damage from some of the Larrys as well. 1787, 1321, 20 seconds remain.
At this point, Mohamed Light can defend and win out. The Skeleton Barrel does pop. The Ice Wiz does come down too low. 10 seconds
Can he
left
get back
to
to
decide.
Fireball? Can he get back to Fireball log? Evo Barrel's in. Fireball. Log.
Arrows come down. What are the Skellies? But Mo still wins it. Mo still wins it. What are the
30 HP. 30, 23 HP. An insane nail biter between Mo Light, who now takes the advantage 2-1 in this best of 5.
Mohamed Light would have been sick. That one singular skeleton, the Cannoneer, it knew its job, it knew its priorities. I gotta take that little guy out. Does it exactly that way, and Mohamed Light now leads 2-1.
4. Pedro's life on the line. Let's go.
Mohamed Light opting to go quick cycle miner. One of the most intimidating ways to see your opponent start. Seeing Mo play a bunch of cards in a miner.
Ice Wiz, Snowball, Evo, Bomber in support of this Skeleton King. Mo going straight control here. Imagine we're going to see a rocket. There's the log. Can he do what Pedro did to sub in the last set?
Yeah, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm thinking Mo has a great matchup. The Dark Prince always going to be able to clean up the drills very nicely. Bats get on top of the tower, and these little small mistakes, these tiny little errors are going to add up quickly. The rockets at the very end of the game, knowing Mo, he can cycle 3 rockets in 20 seconds, so you need to get that damage advantage, and so far, Mo starting off strong.
And if Pedro also has the rocket and it's constantly defended by the delivery or Dark Prince, that rocket is nullified. AC, obviously you get the damage on tower, but the idea is to also take out the troops so you're not making too large of a negative trade. And Mo Light has all the answers.
Log plus delivery, and really plus Evo Tesla and Dark Prince. I mean, half the deck is a hard counter. He can go with an early log because he has so many options. The Skellies even can be a hard counter. Skellies plus log, defending very nicely. Pedro just struggling right now.
Yeah, Pedro probably trying to do a whole lot of math in his mind to figure out how on earth do I play through this matchup. Mo on the other side has the luxury, as you said, AC, of a phenomenal matchup. So many responses. All he has to do is do what he does best. Play those Teslas, send in the miners, and defend better than anyone else in the world.
And right there, overspending with the log. You see him slightly frustrated. He knows that that wasn't the best play. And it's weird. It feels like Mo has gotten more nervous in this game, knowing that he has the matchup, knowing that he should be sending himself to the upper, or to the championship game. if he plays it perfectly.
It's a really good point that you make there. It does seem like Mo is just a little bit like, I have this match. There's the rocket we're talking about. Dark Prince shield comes off. Great counter push coming in both lanes now. Bats plus minor to the left. Nothing there for the Bats. There's the Ice Wiz. Maybe a late delivery here as the Dark Prince connects. No, a Skeleton King comes down, and now a rocket out from Mo on the right-hand tower, taking the lead by 1,100.
3 seconds away from overtime, and Mohamed Light just controlling this game entirely. Set himself up so beautifully with this matchup. Skellies do come down. Rocket will get a little bit of value.
There's just no way.
There's just no way. 600 HP separating the two players. Another rocket going to come down. Does it catch the Ice Wiz?
Wow.
It will. And so this miner is just going to chip away.
AC, it's a little early, but that shot right there from the rocket may have been the nail in the coffin here for Pedro. 651. 2 rockets away is Mo Light from another grand finals at CRL World Finals.
Snowball not taking off the shield, so it's going to provide an easy defense for the Dark Prince. Delivery going to come down, 455 HP with the help of the rocket. You're going to get down to 84.
That's it.
Plus the Dark Prince. It's over.
Mohamed Light! 5 World Finals in a row! 2 championships under his belt! And this crowd here at DreamHack is ready in Atlanta. They want to know who's the greatest.
And Mohamed Light had a lot of success with this deck earlier. See him going back to the well in game 1.
Curious which version it's going to be. Will it be the Boss Bandit version? There's many versions out there with Mortar and Evo Barrel. Looking more like it could. But Berserker also shows up in a lot of those decks.
Yeah, Berserker is certainly having a coming out party here at this competition.
And Boss Bandit does come in, but with a change of the barrel, usually the log fireball combo. Again, this is a best of 5. You've got to do stuff like that if you want to be in a good position down the line.
Boss Bandit setting up in front of the Skeleton Barrel, doing some tanking for a moment. Gets the cannon off, pulled towards the King Tower, but the dash back to avoid the activation. Mohamed Light quick on the fingers.
I like that play there by Sub, just recognizing I can activate King Tower if you make a mistake, but I know you won't, so I'm ready to go with the next spot. Great heads-up play from both these guys. Sub still in the lead, even though more damage has been done to his towers.
As a note here, Sub has run these Hog decks in practice a lot, but mostly going with a Tesla version or with an XE NATO version. So think about some of those pieces he might be saving for this best of 5.
Definitely. EQ is the spell of choice. I like that instead of going something bigger. I know Juicy talked about the Void spell, but I don't know, buddy. I don't know if that's going to happen today.
It's best of 5. It's World Finals. Just about anything can happen. We'll see if we go there right now with 2 minutes away, moving into double elixir time. So far, pretty much razor thin.
Setting up that cannon early, trying to get to the Evo cannon as soon as possible. Evo Firecracker in play already. Nice E-Spirit Plus should clean all this up. An early log! An early log, and Mo saw it! I think Sub thought that the Firecracker was going to pop both of the barrels there because it was the Evo Cracker, and he just misses the log.
That's a pretty big gap to open up. 716 bottom right tower, 2099 on the top left, and we are getting closer and closer to sudden death.
And a small thing that Sub can hold on to is that there was a misplay there by Mo to activate King Tower with the Firecracker. Evo Mortar down. Earthquake in, Skellies to distract. And the Skellies don't distract! The Skellies are out of position! 2 shots in, barrel to tank. Goblin's taking for the barrel. Boss Bandit on the left-hand side. Mo Light has blown this wide open.
And now he just sits back, doesn't make a mistake, and rides out these 2 minutes to a game 1 victory.
First fireball's in. Mo's all smiles right now. Sub doing anything that he can. But this is swimming upstream. Ice skating uphill.
Earthquake trying to break through. Hog's not going to get it. Fireball puts Mo into the winner's column. Game 1 for the Pharaoh.
Beautiful stuff there. He's got to win 5 more, though. He's got to win 5 more if he wants to hold that trophy. Sub's got to bounce back in game 2. You've already been playing it so perfectly. It's been very hard to stop all weekend. And instead we see Barrel early on here from Sub.
And Mohamed Light with the bomber. So drill certainly a possibility here. Drill plus Evo Valk.
And this could just be crazy bait with wall breakers still. Princess, the Dark Gob, the barrel. Wall breakers high here. There they are.
Takes a little swing from the Valkyrie. All of it shuts it down.
And with Mo Light looking like he's playing drill, this is going to be very, very interesting when you start working that Evo snowball into the equation. Maybe using wall breakers to take the drill out more than you'd like. Perfect Fire Spirit jumps. But after losing confidence in interactions in game one, will Sub be able to pull it off?
And goes for the snowball on the Dark Goblin to clear, and that's going to get some good damage.
Wow.
Bomber getting tanked for, and Mohamed Light pretty much evens things up, 21-71 to 21-33.
Brilliant decision making there by Mo. Nice shot here from the Princess at the bridge by Sub. Probably not going to get many more of those throughout this game. 1965, 21-71. Sub in the lead by a hair, and probably wishes that that Dark Goblin stayed alive, Rich.
Yeah, Sub taking the bet that Log wouldn't come out in game number 2, and so far, so good for him. You saw Mo didn't love that last little bit of interaction, and as we get closer and closer to our double elixir time, he sets up with the Goblin Hut.
Sub really needs to make these double barrels, these Gob barrel evolutions, cause some damage when you talk about the responses that Mo has. Whether it's just making things played awkwardly by Mo, getting things out of cycle for his offensive pushes.
Evo Snowball takes the Valk back.
And there we go.
Wow.
That's exactly what I was talking about. If you're going to defend that way, you have to have the perfect Fire Spirit jump, and his micro is just not on right now.
We've seen the hands shake on stage before, and while we have the face cam, we don't have the hand cam at this World Finals.
Would have loved to see that barrel go opposite side. Have the real Goblins on the left-hand side with the tank. Instead, pretty clean defense, 1845 to 1822.
Both players doing a great job of consistently pressuring both lanes, and you see it paying off here for Sub as he now puts both towers under 1900.
And trying to get some princesses on the board, but giving poison value is Sub. Dark Goblin dropped in the poison.
Oh boy.
Rich, this is exactly what I am talking about. Sub is out of sorts at the moment.
Snowball pushes, forces some more drops to cover, but damage done. 1558 on the right-hand side.
And Sub, still in this fight, has got to lock down his interactions yesterday.
Keep in mind, if it's super tight as we get late, Sub will have to get on tower. Mohamed Light does have direct spell damage.
And Princess stays alive just a little longer than Mo would have liked. Dark Goblin also. And now Princess here to help clean up this Gob Hut. High Valkyrie to block. Beautiful stuff here from Mo.
And the Evo Snowball to send everything back. Bomber to try to cover on one side, guards on the other. And does not allow the wall breakers to connect, but damage on the left-hand side is massive.
Yeah,
down to 1221.
Real Goblins do a lot of damage there. Valkyrie up high to protect against this Princess. Valkyrie on the other side to protect the Dark Goblin. Sub turning the pressure up, building some confidence. That should go down.
Final minute, triple elixir flowing.
And just gonna eat some of that. No, he does not. Last second Valkyrie. Bomber taken off the board, but does do the job against the Dark Goblin.
Not only does Sub have the lead, but he has both lanes, and that's gonna be huge here as he can go opposite, but he can also, if he has to, he can win in that right-hand side.
And I love what he's doing with the princesses here, Rich. You know Mo wants to poison the right side, so make these princesses take over the board. Control the board. Protect your princess.
Goblins on the right-hand side take it down to 1280. Mohamed Light in trouble in both lanes. Poison down, gives him the lead, but for how long?
Pressure, pressure, pressure here from Sub. He cannot let Mo get back on offense. Needs to defend.
The
high drill.
The defensive drill, will it be enough?
That's enough!
Mohamed Light, brilliant in defense, takes a 2-0 lead.
Clear sweep in our first grand finals, or will Sub be able to turn things around?
Other big question here is if Sub goes cycle, which it looks like he's going to be doing, what does that leave him for games 4 and 5? Right? It's pretty easy to put him on some stuff when you get into the championship rounds, now that we're 3 cycle decks down.
And we see the Tesla and log out already for Mo Light. Looking like it could be a version of Mortar here from Sub. And going to figure out what the spell power is relatively soon on both sides.
Cannon Cart breaks down, plenty away from that tower. Mo forced to cover those skellies, and you see him going, all right, I had to do that.
Looking like he could be going to Hog Rider.
Good little bit of pressure here from Sub on the left-hand lane, and now going back to the right. Tesla out for Mo.
Still haven't seen what the second Evo is from Sub. As a gang for pressure and a late Fire Spirit.
And it survives.
Beautiful interaction there.
So spell-wise, what's Mohamed got going on here? Obviously, Earthquake is one you would think of, but Lightning open as well.
And there,
you go.
Lightning comes down in the back there. Mo at 2766. The one nice thing is the Lightning is so expensive, you can start to stack cannon carts one side, Skelly's Kelly King the other. You can defend your mortar a little bit more. You can get a little more aggressive with mortars because you have the cannon cart there that can break down. But the thing that you're thinking about is how do I get damage on tower? I need a barrel to get through, or I need a mortar to connect. And those are two very difficult things to do against Mo Light.
Middle mortar. Picks it up with the Mighty Miner.
Cannon cart. It's getting a lot of lightning value there. Maybe trying to bait it out of Mo, and he does take it.
But these are going to be some big hits. 2 from the Hog, I believe. Oh, it stops the second.
And now the mortar down. Evo mortar in play. Fire Spirit. Wow. Perfect timing on that Fire Spirit. Bat goes down just in time.
Skelly Kings in both lanes. Evo Firecracker trying to work on the defensive side. Mortar still at about a 3rd health.
He needs his arrows to get rid of that Firecracker right now. Does Sub. Not able to do it. Mortar off the board, no damage in.
You should expect a little King Tower activation there. That will be helpful in the long run.
Firecracker splash goes to the other side. Mo Light still has both lanes at his disposal.
Sudden death overtime. And Sub setting up the Skelly Barrel way low.
And I like how Mo is just not even, I'm not even going to play with it. Every time that cannon cart's in the back, I'm going to take the lightning value. I don't care what lane it's in. I don't care which tower is lower, at least right now. 90 seconds remain in overtime. Game 3, grand finals. And a bit of a stalemate for Sub.
Yeah, he's got to figure out what can he do to get to the second level. He's again in a situation.
And that Firecracker is going to be devastating here. Does get a shot in. Mighty Miner bomb goes off as well. And Sub cannot get on offense. Tesla here to block? No. Mighty Miner to kite or distract. Skeleton King looking for it. And a perfect lightning again from Mo. But a shot does get in. Late ability. And that's going to be very little damage. And Mo goes, you almost predicted me, but that one goblin stays alive.
Yeah, that arrows feels like a late gasp there, as there was just one little ghostly skeleton there.
And looking for the mortar defensively as Mo goes lightning early. This is a last chance effort here for Sub. He's got to win the game with this push. He's not even going to get to the push. Mo Light trying to break through an ocean of goblins, and still Mo Light's Hog gets on tower.
Mo has to get to that lightning. That's a lot on the left-hand side, a lot on the right-hand side.
And going for the block is Sub. Now maybe going to drop goblins in the back. Mo's looking for it, trying to find a spot for that lightning. And there it is. And he gets it! 3 up, 3 down. And he heads right back to get ready for round 2. Guy in Sub, and here we go. Grand finals, 5 games at most. CRL 2025. Will we see the first ever 3-time? Or can Sub take the championship home to Brazil.
And Sub going something fast one more time, and he did not like losing that Dark Goblin so quickly, and there's a mortar connection to open up the game.
I mean, that is already a horrible start for Sub. You talk about not letting the mortar lock on the Skellies. Dark Goblin comes in, it's the closest unit. Mortar goes to the closest unit that's in range, gets on top of the Dark Goblin, that's wasted elixir. Then he has to overspend with the minions, and then Mo gets a connection. Easy fireball there.
I really don't love seeing Sub go right back to a cycle deck to open things up. I don't believe that mortar gets there. No, not with the Goblin Gang. There is an activation you can pull there.
And Mo's done it during World Finals.
Yep. You know, it's interesting in this situation. We're talking about maybe looking for Sub to go with something heavy. He's not super great with P.E.K.K.A. Gob Giant, with E-Giant, with Golem. He's okay with things like Graveyard, the Lava deck. We might see him go Lava, P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. But those big, heavy ones that are usually the massive swings, not really in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, and you know, I do understand how strong they are in the meta right now, but it's always so tough to kind of, you know, place and pray, as we say, when we talk about heavy decks. You know, we always talk about outplayability with faster cycle decks, which is why you see Sub continuing to go that direction. But maybe a beatdown attempt is the way to go after the first 3 games didn't go your way. Mo does allow that mortar to connect for a couple shots on the left-hand side, so Sub not down, or down but not out. And this boss bandit should be cleaned up by that Berserker.
Yeah, you saw Mohamed try to get the Goblin Gang down in time, timed with that boss bandit reset ability, but it was a little bit too far outside. Mortar goes ahead and connects, and Sub's right back in this one.
Going for a near mirror here, but obviously the E-Wiz and the Dark Goblin, 2 very different pieces of this equation, and the Fireball from Mo hitting that Dark Goblin, I'd start abusing it if I was Sub and then figure out a way to get the minions involved as well. And there you go, minions high, Fireball's out. And there's the Dark Goblin, just the way you want to see it. That's going to be, I was just going to say, that's going to be so much of this matchup, Rich, is trying to get that Fireball out from Mo and then abuse the other card that is best used with, or best defended with Fireball.
And what a smart Skeleton Barrel up there at the top, knowing that it was going to get taken down and pop those skeletons to control those boss bandits.
Yeah, Skeleton Barrel is just such a great siege defense, you know, after its evolution especially. You talk about that double drop, it does so much damage, and then your opponent sits there and goes, is it even worth trying to take care of the Skellies? Fireball in, now the minions come down. There you go, Clockwork. Clockwork usually doesn't work against Mo Light, though.
Sudden death overtime. Mohamed Light with a fairly solid lead, 1570 on the left-hand lane, 1728 on the right-hand tower for Sub.
And I was just going to say, I'd love to see a high Dark Goblin there, but almost on walking towards the other side. Now maybe giving some value here.
And just continue to chip away in both lanes. We talk about the things that Mo does very well. It's early dual lane pressure.
And the interactions with the boss bandit definitely going in Mo Light's favor, at least in this instance. 1570, 2084, game 1 of our upper bracket grand final reset.
And you see with the lead right now, he's comfortable to go defensive mortar and just be the one controlling.
Still trying to figure out what that last card is from Sub. Feeling more and more like it is Lightning.
Let's make this quick.
Evo Mortar sets up on the right-hand side. Final minute, triple elixir. The last thing that Sub can have happen is to go down 4 in a row.
Dark Goblin gets sniped there. And Sub, once again, just finding an incredibly difficult time breaking through. Maybe he heard us talking about how that other deck doesn't work very well, but this one also really struggling to get on tower.
And arrows once again, yeah.
Yep. Makes sense, but just not ideal, Rich. And another mortar down for Sub. 18 seconds remains. He needs that mortar to connect and then some. And there's just absolutely no way as another big
wow.
on the right-hand side. Boss Bandit breaks on through. Barrel's going to drop down. Sub, 4 in a row to his opponent. And only 2 lives to give in his 2025 run.
Feels like he's facing off against Thanos. Fireball and Barb Barrel and E-Wiz all out for Mohamed, and He goes minor. And might Sub be doing the same?
It feels like Mo is just going to control again, and I think Sub is hearing you, Rich. I think he's going to try to go a little heavier, go RG.
Yep.
And I think Mo is just right back to defending, cycling. Miner's on tower. He's got the guards. He's got the Evo Ice Spirit. He's got the log. He's got so many ways to reset and stun and control that Royal Giant. Does take a Royal Ghost shot, and Mo goes, all right, you can have that. First thing in 4 games.
Generally, Sub is viewed as being pretty good with Royal Giant. We haven't seen him play it a lot in competitive compared to the more cycle-heavy stuff he's been doing.
We saw him do great with it against Pedro earlier today, so I like that he's going back to something that did work. Mo already recognizing, all right, I know what I'm up against. I'm going to just get a Tesla down, try to get towards my Tesla evolution. Good luck breaking through.
Guards are going to give a lot of trouble to that Fisherman. And the tension in this room right now, Andrew.
Yesterday we said it, I can echo it right now, as there's hundreds of people behind us and you could hear a pin drop. Waiting, hanging on bated breath to see, will the GOAT be the first ever to repeat the first 3 time? Or can the Cinderella story of Sub continue on?
First Royal Giant.
I just don't know how you're going to break through, how you're going to beat the cycle. Teslas are out early. Guards are always there to protect the Fishermen. Logs and Ice Spirits. Oh my.
Oh my, indeed. Evo Tesla out preemptively.
I mean,
and look at that.
That's just one of those things where you're like, I don't even care about playing my Evo when you're not on offense. I just need to, just Sim City, as we call it. Buildings down, always gonna have that second building ready. You have another RG, I have another Tesla. Guards off the board instantly.
Lead is, for the moment, for Sub, 27-13 to 26-68. From the top right of your screen down to your bottom left. And now Sub gets aggressive at the bridge.
And hyper aggressive at the bridge. Log plus E-Spirit to clean up the guards. And I was gonna say, should get a shot, but there's that Evo Ice Spirit we were talking about. Just so many ways to control this game. The only way to win this is for an Evo Royal Ghost to cause problems on Sub's end. That's what Sub needs to have happen. How can I make the Evo Royal Ghost make Mo spend more than he wants? And Mo goes, I'm very happy to take that tower damage, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we saw him doing that the other day, throwing this rocket on top of the cycled RG in the back.
Evo Ghost cycled in the back for Sub.
And I like that delivery, going to that inside in the hopes that it would go back and help. Doesn't do it here, gets taken off the board. And now this is what you were talking about. Can the Evo Ghost do a little work? This case, not going to give him much.
And Mo still gets the damage on the RG and the tower from the rocket. 21-46, 26-27. 1 minute remains in overtime.
Low Tesla here. That's going to give some fireball value.
Just, you almost feel bad for him, just like you did for Pedro. There's just no way to break through.
Royal Giant to the right-hand lane. Trying to force expenditure out away from his weak side tower. Evo Ghost goes into the guards, maybe to add pressure in both lanes, cleaned up by the delivery and log.
Mo Light looks more locked in than we've ever seen him before, Rich.
Just a few more moments of defense from Mohamed Light. We see the little smile.
5 in a row. Back to back to back to back to back game wins. After doing it to Pedro.
Can Sub stop him?
You see there his biggest rivals of sub, Pedro and Mo Light. He was able to deal with one of them today. The other one, giving him a lot harder time. You see the Gob cage come out and Mo nod. Maybe he is going to the skies.
Yep.
Could also be going piggies. Could be going piggy zappies. Zap makes me think to the skies.
Zap certainly does feel that way. We have seen him run Royal Hogs pretty well, but Zap would be a strange choice.
And Mo going with this very popular bait deck on ladder. We'll see if he's going to rock the Rascals or if he's got a different trick up his sleeve. I like this call from Mo, though, because you know sub is feeling the pressure, and you have to have your micro interactions absolutely dialed to keep up with this deck that Mo's running, especially when you get to triple. And the curse comes out defensively.
Damage in both lanes for Mohamed. Now he pressures the right-hand side.
And Valkyrie doing a great job cleaning up that Royal Ghost evolution. The question is, Rich, a lot of times when we talk about going to the skies, going with Lava Hound, there has to be a moment where you sacrifice damage or a tower usually to get your lava on the board, or you have to make your opponent make mistakes elixir-wise so you get the advantage. As you can see right now, only about 1 elixir up and a couple thousand HP down.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. And now that we know that it's going to be no spell, no big spell, obviously you have to contend with the vines.
Yep.
But if you can keep that flying machine, stack a couple flying machines, start abusing them.
And the Goblins on tower. Evo Zap has to come down defensively there. Zappy's stunning, gonna get a double connection on the left-hand side. And the crowd can feel it. Dark Goblin to snipe, just in range.
And the vines.
And Mo knows. You can see it on his face. Greatness. The spell power. There's no way to deal with the Zappies and with the Dark Goblin. And the barrel goes in. Mo's got his hands on his head.
And what a perfect curse. We're in sudden death overtime. Sub hanging on by a thread.
112 HP separates Mohamed Light from being the first ever 3-time.
Oh my word, wall breaker.
And the Vines comes in cycled on the left-hand side, 36 HP, 1 more Vines, 3 titles.
And here we go. That is gonna be it. Vines hit, Mohamed Light, 3-time world champion.
He's been the best in the game for years, but now it's undisputed. The reigning, back-to-back, 3-time world champion. The Pharaoh's done it again.
Will there ever be another like him?